You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers to this. Not one of those funny days. It's been a fucking crazy week. Like every day I have been buried in my office. It hasn't been the funnest. I've been doing fun work,
Yes.
but I'm so like jacked right now with everything. I'm doing some like again, I'm putting proposals together. I am doing client work. Plus we got this giant trade show coming up.
Yeah, that trade show.
You know what? And again, after this acquisition, I mean, things are supposed to get easy. I mean, I get it. It's still new.
Yeah.
And it's probably still going to take about 4 to 6 weeks before a lot of duties and responsibilities are off my plate.
Right.
And whatever else. But man, it's like so far, it's just like, oh, this isn't what I signed up
Wait
for.
a second. Yeah, what's different?
Oh, but needless to say, we know this time of year is always nuts, right?
This time of year is bananas. God.
Yeah, and it's all right. It's it's okay. We'll get through this.
We will.
Get
Do you
through
promise?
this. Yeah. But you know, the cool thing about like I mean, okay, granted, yeah, the work was the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But today, I talked to 2 potential new clients. And it was really fucking cool. And the cool thing is 2 potential new clients plus a third one last week. None of them had to do with the acquisition. Absolutely none. So this was all because of who we are, what we've done. You know, that one was like niching out in this space. They need. They're developing this giant job board website for manufacturing, try to find manufacturing talent, right? Really cool,
Yeah.
right? And again, due to past experience and us being who we are in the space, right? They came to us to quote and discuss and see how we can help them out in the future. The second one was ag tech opportunity.
Ag tech, agriculture.
Yes, huge. Absolutely cool. And this was for a full retainer internal agency type idea, right? Again, the nice thing is there was like no ramp up. It took 5 minutes. It's like, boom, I totally know what you're doing. I understand I got this, this is the benefits. This is why. And it's just like right off the bat, they're like, yeah, you get it. Like I didn't even have to go into detail because then I was challenging their tech. I was challenging, not like, but
Look,
you know what I mean?
Look, you guys suck. I know what the hell.
You're only a $300 million company. You don't know anything.
What the hell do you know?
But no, it was like, it was just like I was asking the right questions and they're like, yeah, very smart. Good for you. Blah, 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 blah. And then the third one was health tech.
Health tech.
So again, all tech B2B companies, cool giant companies. And again, they're coming to us because we are industry specialists. We have an awesome niche. We own it. I mean, this was the best fucking thing we ever could have done. Like we always were in a niche since we started. But I mean, what was it, 6-7 years ago when we were like, dude, okay, we're going for broke because something has to change.
Yep.
And it was just like proclaiming that niche, that specialization and working towards it and owning it. Best thing we could have fucking done. And I mean, it did lead to us being acquired.
Yep.
But I mean, it's just funny because all 3 projects that I'm like doing proposals for right now and trying to figure out had nothing to do with this. This was just all. So I mean, again,
was it like cold calls? People just reaching out to you?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, yeah. Ultimately, yes. Wow. Right. Well, no. One was the very first one was from before.
From before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so again, that referral was because they knew that we knew tech in this space. They're like, well, what do you know about tech in our new space?
In the new space.
Because again, this is the client for life. He's like, hey, I'm at a new place. What do you know about this industry? And I was just like, well, guess what? I know a fucking hell of a lot in your industry. Right. This is what we've done. But again, because it's still tech.
And this is our buddy from the nation's the capital, Ottawa, right?
Yep. Yeah. So it's
awesome.
Really, it's cool. And again, cool opportunities because we niched. Because we're specialists.
Right.
We're basically going to be talking about, specializing in this episode.
Right.
This episode is going to be all about, specializing, niching, doing what you love and making a shit ton of money and awesome future.
Yeah.
The money. It's always the back of the money with me, right? But I mean, honestly, doing what you love, enjoying the space and owning it, but owning it not as a generalist, But as a specialist, and no surprise to anybody, obviously I'm obviously a fan of being a specialist. It's worked for us.
Yep.
And I think we're going to talk about the reasons why it's worked for us. Tips, tricks, whatever, the benefits of, I don't know, stick around. At the end of this, I'm sure we're going to even talk about how to actually do it, how to actually become, a specialist, the steps to take. Because honestly, this is a no-brainer to me.
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Like, I mean, again, if it's any way to get to that goal that you want to get easier, faster, more targeted, this is the episode that you need to kind of go through.
To do. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So again, this is something to me is a fucking no-brainer. I don't know why every agency doesn't do this. Because again, this is, whether you're an agency, a freelancer, a consultant, like, it's a no fucking brainer. I mean, it has done nothing but served us. It served us well when we started, right? Because again, there was 34, 36 other agencies in this tiny town, and we needed to differentiate ourselves, and we did, and we took off. We took off like a rocket, right?
Yeah.
And again, then we went into that generalist space in the middle, and we struggled, and it wasn't fun. It was fun because we were young and stupid, but I mean, the cool part is like it wasn't until afterwards when it was just like, wow, we've been a generalist for too long. I want to go back and make a difference and own something.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest that was the game changer again. And that was because that was when we were all in. Like when we started in the B2B side, like B2B manufacturing side, I was too young and foolish to understand how to own that niche. We just owned it just because of, we were always there at the events and we knew the people and, but we weren't actually strategically trying to position ourselves as that company.
Right.
This time around we did.
Yeah.
And this time around it really fucking worked. Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's nice because it's not like, dude, it's a lot of the regular struggles people have in our space. We don't have to go through.
Nope.
Right. And
there's no switching gears. There's no, okay, now
ramping up.
Yeah. Or anything. Or like, okay, what space is this that we're going to talk about here?
Research.
Makeup? What?
And then the competitive part,
Yes.
Like you got competition. Now you got to stack yourself up, not just to give the best presentation to the customer, but try to understand who you're competing against, who else might be pitching.
Right.
Dude, this is the best thing. So when we talk about niching, when we talk about specializing, let's just first, set the stage here, right? Yeah. We're talking about being a specialist or niching down, okay?
Yep.
Basically, it breaks down into 3 different places, right? You can either offer a niche service, right? So you can become a niche service agency. And this is like if you decide to just focus on UX or UI, or you wanted to be just a web agency, right? This is focusing down what that service offering is that you do, right? And this is good, and some services need this, right? Like. Years ago, we used to offer SEO. We used to offer AdWords. We used to offer a whole bunch of web services, right?
Yeah.
But those services became over the years, they become so complicated, right? So in depth that it makes sense to just deal with specialists in that place, right? I don't even touch pay-per-click, where we tell customers straight up, nope, we don't do that. Sorry, we don't touch that space, right? We farm that stuff out. So there is an advantage to definitely becoming an expert in a certain aspect, in a certain service, okay?
Yes.
However, it's not enough.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right? Because again, just because you might become really, really good as a UX person, or you're really, really good as a pay-per-click company or an AdWords agency or even an SEO company or a logo designer, right? Well, how are you going to still separate yourself from all the other web agencies out there, right? Or the logo designers or everything else.
Yeah.
That's there's that top 10% that's amazing. And then there's the other 90% that are basically just fighting for all the scraps, right? So that's challenging on its own, right? And you can own that, right? But at the same time, your competition isn't going to sit there and you can be like, oh, I'm the best logo designer ever. It's not like your competition is going to be, telling your customer, yeah, he is the best logo designer ever. So like that doesn't work, right? Yeah. And then of course, depending on your niche, that if you niche in a certain skill set, whether it's UI, UX, this, that, you're fearful that you might be put out of business with technology.
Right. Oh, right.
Right. Like
Dolly and all that kind of stuff.
Like if let's say you want to be a digital artist or let's say you are, a UX designer and all of a sudden, there's already been some, AI driven websites that have nipped at UX designers' heels because it can process more data faster than a UX designer could and make changes on the fly.
Yes.
Like, again, you can niche into a service area, but I personally don't feel that's enough. And that's why we had to take it a step further, right?
Yeah.
Niche number 2, of course, is you niche your positioning. Okay. And this is where we kind of went, this is when we started focusing in on a specific industry. Okay.
Yeah.
We knew what industry we wanted to. And so we became industry experts in the B2B world, and even more so in B2B technology world. And even one step further between IoT and broadband space. Right. So we all of a sudden became we focused our positioning, and we positioned ourselves as experts in this industry. And, this is great because all of a sudden you start becoming an industry expert, right? You learn the space, you learn the terms, you know what the events are, you know who the people are, the players, right? All of a sudden you start owning this space, right? And this is kind of, what has helped us over the years. And number 3, okay, the third niche is actually doing both.
Oh.
Okay.
All
right. It's actually niching down in a skill set.
Yeah.
And niching down in an industry or in how you position yourself, right? So this is where it's like, not only you're going to be a web design company, but you're going to be a web design company that just focuses on pet food, or pets, or makeup industry, as you said, right? Or modeling or entertainment or sports agency that just does it, right? This is where it's like 1 + 1 equals like the most amazing thing you possibly can do, right? So it's also, it's like niching in 2 areas, but as one giant one. So for us, our niche, our skill set niche is that we're actually a generalist in our skill set, right? We are a full service agency, right?
We do it all.
Creative agency. Okay. So we don't touch pay-per-click. We don't do media buying or any of that shit. But we are the full service creative stack. We understand everything from print to digital, everything. As long as it has to do with content creation, we own that space. So that's our skill set. And being a generalist is actually being a specialist because it allows you to see the bigger picture. That's my take. And of course, we positioned ourselves, as industry leading specialists as industry specialists for B2B technology companies. Right. So that's where we played. So that's I guess the 3 different ways you can actually niche down.
Yeah.
And
1, 2, and 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1, 2. Wow, I never thought of it like that, but wow, it was so much easier than me rambling.
3, yes.
But it's funny because now that we've done this, dude, I can't imagine going back the other way because, like,
come on,
how hard fucking it was to find clients in the old way.
Yeah, this is true. And it's like today is a great example because of what we've our relationships and things like that, and being an expert in the tech field, you've got people coming to you,
to us, right?
Yeah. So
as opposed to before, I mean, like what was our criteria before?
You show up at a trade show or something like that.
No, I mean, like the criteria for business was like, you got money, you got a business, you need work that I can do.
I can do that.
Hey, we can do that. Oh, we can do it better than the other people. Yeah. Can you pay? Or more so, will you please pay?
Will you please pay? Yes.
Well, because it's true. Because I mean, the criteria before was basically, if you've got money, I'll sell my services. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's, people, I mean, in some ways it kind of could be exciting because you never know who's going to walk in that door. But fuck, dude, I much rather appreciate having an idea who's coming in through that door, as in, niching it down. It's not going to be an animal. It's not going to be, it's going to be a certain kind of person, and they're going to have a certain kind of, knowledge that I can lend, our experience to, right?
Yes.
Like literally. And then again, it's just like, not only do you have all these people asking you for work when you're a generalist company, but then you also had to try to figure out how to fight against your competition, which sucks.
It was terrible.
Because again, it was just, I know a lot of the other agencies. I got colleagues at other agencies. They're really fucking good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, their stuff is more exciting because, a lot of them do B2C shit. But I mean, again, it's exciting now. And if I had to compete against that, with our B2B experience, I'd be worried.
Yes.
Because it's like our stuff isn't as flashy, isn't as sexy.
It's meat and potatoes kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we make a difference. No, I mean, compared to that shit.
Compared to that, yes.
So imagine if now all of a sudden we had to, and this was by and large a big fault of what we were doing, because as a generalist kind of agency, we had all this B2B work, but we would show up to meetings showing our portfolio of B2B work they would see other agencies would be at cool, exciting shit, and they'd be like, "Wow, these guys are much more exciting to deal with than these guys."
exactly.
So it's like it was a harder sell,
Yes.
right? So it was just a tiring. It was just. I'm kind of glad that we actually did it this way.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to go, I would think. It seems to be more. There's not as many surprises in the day-to-day kind of. Activities
we
what we're
understand
doing.
it
because we know what's coming. Yeah, exactly like you said. We know what's coming through the door.
Yeah, well, exactly,
You know
right?
what I mean? Like if it's agriculture based, oh yes, we have experience.
We
with
got
that
experience.
because we've worked with that in one of our.
But
other
here's the
clients.
funny thing. So even if it was an industry that we didn't know, because we have such a solid understanding of technology and how it works, and especially in these days with cloud technologies and everything, it's so transferable.
Yeah.
Somebody could come in with like, I don't know. I mean, we just said ag, and what's an industry that we don't deal with? Well, we deal with health, we deal with ag.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, actually, fintech. We don't do fintech.
Fintech.
Financial technology. We don't do anything like that.
financial
We don't do anything like that. So, but
Right.
if somebody was to come in with a product
Right.
in that space,
Yeah.
they don't have to ramp us up on the technology,
Right.
because we understand the technology.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, after 5 minutes of me explaining it to you, get the technology. So now you can focus in on everything else.
Right.
Right. Where it's like, if they went to another agency,
Yeah.
they'd have to first explain them the technology. The other agency would have to get ramped up on that. They'd have
Right.
to learn all that over. Then they'd have to go and figure out how to solve the rest of the problems.
Yes.
Right. So half our work is already done.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people are scared about this. Like they're always scared to commit to this niche, and I think, we went through that in the middle few years there for sure.
Yeah.
During growth, you know, and
And what was the decision? What was the impetus for this? Is just you wanted to change? 'Cause
Well,
I think
no,
I came
I
on
think
board just as around
just
at that
as
time.
when I think you're around a little bit. Well, you were before in the freelance basis around for years
That's
before
true.
that.
That's right, yes.
And then you did stick around, and we did grow, but it was, you know what? I think it was because I honestly got tired of the competition.
Yes.
No, I was constantly, because I knew the B2B space, whether it was tech or manufacturing at this point, and we knew our shit. But it was just like getting so tired of just being like trying to prove to the customer not only that you know what you're doing, but you also know it better, and they should choose us versus another agency. I was just fucking, I was looking for a way to separate ourselves from the competition.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? How do I eliminate the competition? Plain and simple.
Right.
And this is where the idea came from before. It's just like we excelled when we were, in that space before. And this was a good opportunity to just completely eliminate the competition.
Right.
And within 3 months, dude, 3 months, okay, it was already working because we had a customer who came to us and is like, hey, I just, had a pitch from so-and-so agency, and it was pretty good pitch. But then I went to the Accelerator Center, and they said, oh, you should talk to zfactor or zfactor because they know the tech space and they're experts. He's like, I want to deal with an expert. I don't want to have to. And that was it. The other agency was written off.
Totally done.
Completely done.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% done. And that
Yes.
customer is still with us.
Yeah. Oh,
Funny
yeah,
enough,
nice.
right? 7 years later.
Awesome.
So, but again, it's like, this is kind of this whirlwind thing for us. It's just customer after customer, business after business, right? It's been really cool. But I think one of the fears that people have from niching is that they're scared that, it's like the pool of work is going to be too small.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Which is fucking ridiculous
Yes.
nowadays. Like,
when you think about that, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I can totally see that. If you're sitting there, you're thinking, okay, I'm just focusing on this segment, and there's so much other stuff to
Right.
do, but not realizing that the segment that
Dude,
is enormous.
Is enormous.
Yes.
Right. And that's the whole
This is a
thing.
big
like,
world we live in.
You can't get, like, I mean, if anything, it makes your life easier niching down because
Totally.
now your pool of work is more, it's not like it gets smaller.
No.
It's just, it's more focused.
It's more focused, yes.
Right. And
Exactly.
again, it's just like, okay, when we started before, like, dude, the internet wasn't even a thing. Okay. When we did the manufacturing, it wasn't even a legitimate thing. It was so early stage. It was pretty funny. It's cool to think about. But I mean, again, it was like we would have to like pick up trade magazines. I'd have to go and sign up for them all, get on the phone, get them mailed to me. And then I would be flipping through them. Like, and again,
figure out what it
even
is.
back then, there was a huge pool, right? But like, let's be honest, you only need a few hundred of people in this pool, but no industry is so niche that there's only 100 players. If it is, wow, there's money to be made there. If that's the
big
case,
time.
holy shit, if you can find that, that's fucking gold. gold. Again, so I mean, you know, absolutely niching, you know, the pool of work is massive. And again, let's face it, as an agency, right? How big do you want to get?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
10 people, 50 people, 100 people. How many customers is that? You need to bag what? 5, 10, 20, 30 customers to support, you know, a good sized agency.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I mean, so that's silly. I know that's a for sure, right? I know a lot of times people think that you get bored if you're in industry. And maybe that was a little bit of a fear I had too. In my opinion, becoming a subject matter expert, there's nothing fucking boring about that, right? And I mean, this has been a whirlwind of just learning.
Yeah.
Like learning about different companies, different ways, keeping up with what are the new trends and new technologies that are being used for our space. I don't even know what industry would be so boring, like that you can niche down to that is just going to be repetitive over. Like if it's an industry that doesn't evolve, right? Well, okay, fine. Then you know, but that industry wouldn't exist much longer.
This is true.
Businesses have to keep evolving.
And if you're going to niche down in something like that that's not going to evolve, you better save your pennies.
Yeah, right. Exactly, right.
Because you're going to be out of a job in 5 years.
People think honestly that, like, you know, oh, if you're a generalist, you can hop from one problem to another problem to another problem, right? Yeah. And this is kind of a misconception, because as a generalist agency hopping from problem to problem to problem, it is fucking exhausting, because you have to first learn about that customer's space, their competitors. You have to understand what they're going through. Then you have to, that's stage 2, you have to find out what the problem is you can solve for them in this industry. So you're constantly learning all this giant amount of information over and over and over that if you don't have a second or third customer in that space, it's wasted.
It's wasted.
It's wasted fucking knowledge, right?
Exactly.
So, and again, just because we specialize in B2B technology companies, right? It doesn't mean that we encounter the same problem every fucking time.
No.
And this is why I get a little pissy about this one, right? Because it's like, shake your fucking head. You know, it's not the same problem every time, but we don't have to worry about that ramp up every time. We don't have to sit there and be like, okay, well then, you know, what's a transistor? You know, what is IoT? Are things actually talking to each other? Like, we're not asking the stupid questions. We're like, you know what? You don't have to explain to technology. We get that.
We get that.
Done. Let's talk about your business now and where your struggles are, right? So we're just, and that's what customers love. This is over and over and over again. They're like, you know, we don't have to explain this, the tech side to you. You just get it. Right. And huge factor. So again, you know, it's not boring. It's amazing. And it's not like you're solving the same problems over and over again. Because if you're solving the same problems over and over again, fuck, show me that industry, right? That can be automated with AI and you're fucked, basically, right? Okay. And I think the other big thing, okay, that, you know, with all this being said, right, if people, you know, they go down, you know, they go down a niche road, right? And they're thinking that they're not going to get bored, and they're scared that they can't take on any new exciting projects. And they're scared that they're going to have to say no to anything else that they might want to work on. But if it doesn't fall into their niche, that they're going to have to turn it away.
Right.
So the reality is, you know, ultimately the criteria for you to accept a job is, you know, do they have the money to pay you, and can you do the job?
Right.
Okay. That's the criteria. I'm not saying turn away every fucking company that ever comes your way. If you can make a good buck on it, if it's profitable. I mean, you're in business to be in business, right? This isn't a fucking hobby. Okay. So don't think that you have to turn away other jobs. Some places online are like, you have to learn how to say no, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. But as a creative, that could get, that could feel like there's a little bit of a constraint there, right?
Yes.
All I'm saying is, just don't market to everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Accept any work that comes your way if you want. If it looks cool, if it looks exciting. Hey, dude, I'm into cars.
Yeah.
Okay. Not our space at all.
No,
but if there was a really, really fucking cool opportunity.
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Right. And it would. I absolutely would jump on that. I'd be like, yeah,
Totally.
I'll do it. I'll do that as my own personal project, right? Pick and choose that shit.
Yes.
It's just, I'm not going to also be like, you know, we're a B2B technology company specializing in broadband and IoT technologies. And we also do cars. Like, what's the point? And then we also do this, and that's how you get these giant bloated websites that basically they do everything, but really they do nothing. Right? Like this is that whole thing, right? Those who say they can do everything, in fact, really can't do anything.
Yeah, be wary of guys like that. Yeah. But having said that, you're already pretty niche when it comes to cars. I know you pretty well.
You're pretty niche, right? I like old German cars.
What about makeup?
Yeah, right. Good point. Not
Although
sure.
you have 3 daughters, so maybe, I don't know. I
maybe
think
makeup.
you're an expert in everything. You probably do fine.
In the makeup department, right? Jeez, how to cover up all those crying. Jeez, all the crying I do on a regular basis. I have 3 daughters.
3 daughters, oh boy.
Yeah, needless to say, I would take on some fun and exciting projects.
Exactly.
And sometimes you need to, just for personal creative inspiration.
We have clients that aren't in the tech industry.
Well, they're grandfathered. They're grandfathered.
They're kind of grandfathered in, but we still have them.
Yeah, we do it because again, we're not going to dump them in big dicks.
Exactly.
And they pay well, and we don't have to chase, and they're pretty low maintenance. So
they're pretty low maintenance.
Why would we get rid? We help them out. They're willing to pay, and that's fine, right?
Yeah.
So it's just that we're not advertising that we want.
That's the thing. Right? We're not getting any more into the into these spaces.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, again, these are the fears that I think people kind of hear on a regular or say on a regular basis. But honestly, dude, like I think they're all bogus. I think that they're all like the benefits so fucking outweigh the fears.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I mean, again, you become a subject matter expert.
Yeah.
Okay. We always tell everybody, right? Like every designer, you have to strive to become an expert, right? You need them to view you as an expert. Okay. As soon as you lose that expert status in the client's eyes, you're just providing a blanket service that they can get anywhere. And if they're going to push you around and do this and do that, basically it's like dance monkey, dance. Like seriously, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, again, this is you can be a design expert, right? But again, from our experience, everybody's a fucking designer in our world, right? Every fucking customer says they're a designer and they think that they can, design as well as you. It's like, you need to elevate yourself. And if you can own a niche or be a specialist or position your company, yourself as that extra company, they can't argue your expert status.
Yes.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah. Because you have experience that dictates a lot more than just opinions.
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, when those people think they're designers, it's strictly based on just like really, really thin opinions that mean nothing. Right? If you know the space, you can talk about the space, you can talk about people in the space, the technologies in the space, they can't argue. They can't question it, right?
Yeah.
So again, there's something to be said about all this earned respect to be an expert, that having in-depth knowledge on the space has.
Yes.
Okay. And so people can't question that. So, and the best part about it is when you start getting that reputation for being, known as the agency, for your niche,
yes,
or the consultant, in that space, or, this designer I always use who knows how to do, when you start getting that kind of status, dude.
Tech bros talking to each other.
Right.
I need an agency that understands what I got somebody. I
got an agency, right?
Exactly.
And that's where.
And this kind of stuff has happened to us a lot recently in the last couple of years, right? This is good.
Absolutely.
Hey, we know these guys. We work with these guys already. They're already in the space. They know exactly. Have a look and you talk to them and boom, before you know it, they're added to the launch list.
That's exactly it, right? Like seriously, that's sign them up.
Yes,
and again, it's ramp up is quick.
Yes,
they're
you already
literally
understand.
Like from week to week. It's like that you go from a conversation to being sold.
Yes,
right. Where the other way, it's like, oh well, let me review your portfolio. Let me take it because there's nothing else for people to base it on other than just a hunch that they liked the interview and that they didn't like the other agency, the way the guy was dressed when he came in, or the girl's voice when she pitched, right? They're really silly. So another huge benefit, in my opinion, is it's so much fucking easier to find target clients.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, right now we have a lot of people that are, sending messages saying, well, how can I get some of my first clients? How can I get... The reality is, if you're a generalist, it's kind of the same process all for everybody. You go online.
Yep.
In your local area, you type in a business, right? And you just see all this list of businesses that are around, right? And you just start picking them.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Right. This is hard. Like it's extremely hard. It is so vague and generic in general. Right. And then even, like I wouldn't even know where to start anymore. I really wouldn't. However, if I have a niche, okay, so first off, again, when we started 20 years ago and the internet wasn't around,
No internet.
we had, we basically said, okay, we wanted trade businesses, manufacturers, trade companies within a 3.5 hour radius of where we are. And we would drive, up like 400 kilometers away because we'd be like, okay, if we can land these people. And that alone and being in that niche, there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies for us to call on, right? And that was back then when it was manual. Now, if we had Google, and I was like, dude, I have to look for manufacturing companies, in Canada. Dude, there would be thousands and thousands and thousands of these. Okay. Like if I was, looking for local Korean barbecue restaurants. Okay. And I typed that into Google, between here and Toronto, there's probably 50.
Yeah. There's
okay.
a ton of them.
So this is what I mean. Like the more niche your search is, the easier it is to find the customers if you have something to offer them.
Right.
So again, if I knew the Korean barbecue place, other than, damn, it's good. Right? I could go and find them and find something to offer them and how I'm going to change their lives, right? How to change that business. It's so much easier to find customers if you actually have a niche because you've already got an in. Your in is the experience you've done with their competitors, right? Or other like businesses, like theirs that makes it easier to ramp in. Yeah. So shit, dude, that one's a fucking easy one. That one's a cakewalk. That's the first thing I tell people. Find a niche, right? They're like, how do I find a customer? Find a niche. Yeah. Find a niche first, and then I'll tell you how to find that customer, right? Yeah. Number 3, minimizes the competition. Right? Again, this is what I said before. This is the reason why this time we did decide to focus. I was tired of competing with and that's when we changed our website. And that's when we were just like, you know what? Take off the fucking portfolio, keep it bare minimum, right? And I don't want to compete with anybody. And now, because we have these big, bold statements on that website about who we service and why we understand the space, that was enough to separate us from everybody else. And I was like, fuck, how good that feels that you don't have to update your online portfolio on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Like, that was so fucking irritating, dude. Yeah. That was the bane of my existence, man. Not to mention that you'd launch a website only to get bored of it a week later, and then you're constantly fucking around with it. I have to give Aaron Draplin credit, man. His website, it's as outdated as it is, man. Right? Who cares? It served him well, and his
content is good,
and it still makes him money. So this whole venue that he's going to be going and redoing his website this year, it's just like, oh, dude, here, tread lightly there, buddy. But like seriously, like it's that's what happened for us, right? Yeah. From the start, we needed to separate ourselves from the competition, and we did that. Like when we started the company, separating from the other 35, 36 other agencies in town. Right. And now I just got tired of competing because there was cool young shops popping up, and we were around for 10, 15 years, and and fucking people don't care. Like, sorry. Talent doesn't care about that, right? They don't care. So it's just okay. Well, how do I compete myself? No, let's just become experts in a niche. Then we're going to stand on our own, and really we really did. And it sounds snobby, but we did it elevated.
No, that totally makes sense. Is you pick an area that's underserviced, or something that you can be the best at, and then let the rest of them fight over the scraps.
Yeah, right. Really,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, it basically eliminates competition, in my opinion. Right. Completely eliminates competition if you're niche. Yep. Okay. Loyal customer base. Okay. Again. Customers for life. Yeah, you can service your customers, and we proudly service our customers. But the ones who keep coming back are the ones that not only do we serve them really well, but they know their industry and they move to the next job up higher in their industry. That's right. So if they're in tech, they're going to leave this tech company, go to another tech company. And you know what? They're like, hey, I know the company to call, right?
These guys.
And again, they're loyal, right? And just like you said before, not only is it good that you get loyal customers, but it makes you so much more easier to be referred.
This is exactly it. Yeah.
Right? Like again, it's just like, hey, I got that guy. I know a guy that can deal, because everybody deals in the same space. Yes. So what you're doing is you're getting rid of all the friction that this industry has. and you're just like completely barreling down in this one industry. And it's just, again, you don't have to ramp oh dude, it's so exciting. It's, if I can write a book on being a niche. And last but not least, my opinion, the best thing about being a niche company is you can fucking charge a premium price. Okay, you're a subject matter expert. You know your space. You know what works. You know what doesn't work, right? And you can charge for it appropriately and justify it. That's the best part. Again, I always told you before that, two things, right? By making our company look bigger than we were, I was able to charge more. And by being a subject matter expert, I was able to charge more. There's a premium fucking price, and people will pay for that shit.
That's right.
Let me paint a picture for you, Sean.
Okay.
Ready? You own a restaurant?
Put a fluffy little cloud in there.
You own a restaurant? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You own a restaurant and you're struggling with this restaurant, whatever. You're making it work. Times are what they are, right?
Yep.
There's an industry event, a Restaurant Expo 2022. You go to Restaurant Expo 2022 because you're gonna go and see all your business colleagues, new tech, this, new that, right?
Yep.
You're hoping to find an edge over your competitors.
That's right.
There is speaking engagement, right? And again, it's marketing. And you're like, shit, right?
This is what I need.
Right.
Yeah.
You go, you sit down, you pay your money for the ticket. A generic marketing expert gets on stage and starts talking to you about marketing.
Yeah.
Well, you need a website.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what a website is, you need a website for your restaurant, right? You need pay-per-click.
Yeah.
Pay-per-click is important for your restaurant, right? Be sure to have business cards. And they're giving you generic fucking restaurant advice.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I'm at an awesome event and I want to learn about it. And I go and they bring me a marketing, person to talk to us about marketing because they're assuming we're fucking morons. Okay. So thank you. Now, rewind.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You look at the schedule, right? And, the session is called, Marketing Excellence for Restaurants. Okay.
Nice.
So all of a sudden it's like, okay.
Catchy title.
You get in there, right? The person gets on stage. They're like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I have helped hundreds of restaurants, and help take their business to another way. I've been invited here today to give you guys some of my secret tips. They start talking to you about, things like the names you put on your menu.
Yes.
Okay. How to add flourishes on your menu that'll make you have higher priced, items to make more money from that, right?
Yes.
They're going to tell you not only to don't have a fucking website, they're going to tell you, listen, fucking website isn't the answer, but having a website from this company, from this service that makes it like a no-brainer and allows you to order online and send your food. All of a sudden it's like, everything they're telling you, right, has to do with your fucking business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a no-brainer. Which one do you get more value from, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, there's more value. So now let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Okay.
The second person.
The second guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Would you pay 20% more to hire him?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Do you know why? Yeah. Because he's the expert.
Well, okay.
Right off the bat. Just what you've told, what you've said. Yeah.
Right. That's the value you got from, right? So now he's not telling you he's not a generic person fucking telling you to get a restaurant.
No.
He's speaking from experience.
Yes.
He is giving you actual things that make a fucking difference to your business.
Yes.
And this is why you can charge a premium. You can charge 20, 30, 50% more. Fuck, dude, you can even double your rates in some cases, right? The smaller that niche and the more competitive it is, the more you can charge if you have the backing for it.
That's exactly it. Because that guy at the top, the first guy, he's going to sell you a whole bunch of shit that you're not going to use. So, or you're going to use it, but it's not going to be as relevant as
it's generic.
Yes, it's generic.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to pay this fucking nobody $100 an hour to tell me, how to create a generic website, and he is no better than anybody else out there. Or I'm going to pay $150, and this guy is going to tell me how to come up with a fucking restaurant website
because he knows this space.
Because he knows, and he's going to help me price out my food because he knows from experience. Korean barbecue. I don't know why I keep saying Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue restaurants can, give you, charge this much more for this kind of service because of his experience and this. dude, like it's just, it's a no-brainer.
That totally makes sense. Yep.
So it doesn't have to be a big space like what we have.
No.
It could be something as small as just understanding restaurants.
Right.
Shit, you like food? Go fucking niche into the food industry for
there
all I
you
care.
go. That's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Whatever,
Anyway,
whatever you're good at.
Yeah, right. Like seriously, it's ultimately you can charge more for doing the exact same thing because you're an expert. And this is where the constant learning is coming from.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
huge,
Oh, that's
huge,
great.
dude.
That is a beautiful analogy. I
think
love it.
so. Well, I mean, again, I think that one just makes it really obvious and clear, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
As an industry expert, okay, and once you are a subject matter expert, you know, and once you're, you know, you have clear, easier customers to find, and you know, you don't really have any competition anymore because you're now that expert, and you've got customers that are backing you and, you know, referring you, dude. Your rates will go through the roof. Honestly, it's like everything all kind of works together in this whole benefits of being a niche agency.
Totally.
Niche agency, niche designer, niche, you know, whatever you want to, if you want to call yourself a consultant or whatever, it's just, it works across almost everything in our space right now.
Yeah. Big time.
Honestly, I don't think people should be scared of this shit at all.
Nope.
No.
I don't think so either. Like, yeah, that exactly is a great analogy to use with the food is designed. It's the
I'm
exact
hungry
same.
now, though. That's the problem.
But it's the same thing with the tech. The tech, you've always been good at that kind of stuff. So now
It's you know what? I was genuinely curious on how things were made.
yes.
Right. And I mean, I wouldn't say like, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who can like take apart a computer and put it back together.
No.
That's
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I did, I just liked how things were made.
Yes.
And I liked that back, you know, when I was younger, when we started about manufacturing and how shit gets made. Like one of those, you know, that show, you know, how it's made.
Fucking
Yes.
I love that
dude, I
show.
still love that. Right. I would, dude, that's like porn for me. Honestly, it's just like, wow.
So good. Yeah.
Look at that oil.
That's hot.
Look at those cylinders. No, but it's true. I mean, again, I always, so when the whole world changed and manufacturing evolved to kind of technology, right? We were dealing with the same people.
Yep.
We already knew how things are being made. So now it was just, we were changing how they were being made. And now it was just so the curiosity was still there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's key.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to make this work for you, first and foremost, you got to find something that keeps you interested.
Right.
Right? Honestly, it has to, because otherwise, you know, if you're just picking something for money, they always say like if you shoot for money, you end up broke, right? And I was literally telling my kid this last night. I picked her up from her dance class, and she's telling me how she's gonna make a lot of money and she's gonna do her own thing. And I'm like, okay, but listen, find something you like.
Yeah.
I like money. I was like, okay, so do I. And I'm trying to talk her out of this passion for money. Yeah, love that girl. And I was just like, listen, find something you like to do first, and the money will come.
Yes.
Right? So literally, it's in this case, it was like find a passion, find an interest, find something first and foremost that gets you engaged, gets you excited, you know, health and fitness, or, you know, I don't know, like, well, manufacturing for me, you know, technology for me, cars, talked about music.
Music would be awesome.
Right?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
exactly.
find something first and foremost that you're actually genuinely, you know, passionate about, okay, interested in, and figure that you could learn a lot about this space, right?
Yeah.
Then you do research. Number two, right? You go a little deeper.
Yeah.
See how big that market is. So now it's not just a matter of, okay, now we got to think of a business.
Yeah.
You know, here. Yeah, I like this space. Now let's put our business hat on.
Yeah.
Okay. I want a music. You know, I like music. I'm a musician. I like music. What other opportunities are there for, you know, me to grow this side? Well, there's like music shops, like the Long and McQuaid's of the world. Fine.
That's right.
There's concert halls and venues. Cool.
Yep.
There are, you know, companies that supply, you know, music equipment to events.
Yeah.
Okay. Number three, there's manufacturers of
Manufacturers,
brands of
yes.
some of the most awesome. Number four,
Yeah.
right? And you start expanding and you go deeper and deeper and deeper. Like it's not just, you know, a one size fits all.
Yeah.
It's a giant space.
Yeah.
How big of a space do you want?
Yes.
Like to me, it'd be cool to own that music space from like literally from when the shit gets made all the way to how it's delivered.
Yes.
You know, even
Exactly.
the teachers, the music teachers, like you can go big or small, whatever. But if you've got an industry in that space, all of a sudden you're going to get that name for the music industry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So no matter what the industry is, you got to see how big of a market it is and expand past just what you know. So
What you
all
know,
you
exactly.
know is drums and keyboards and guitars.
Yep.
Okay. But now step
there's
further.
there's way more.
Way
behind
more.
that.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So you, again, Put on your business hat.
Yep.
That's number 2. Now, number 3, you got to figure out, right, what it's going to take to specialize in that space, right? And what opportunities there are, problems that you can fix, right? So this, for the manufacturing, this is a little different. For the music industry, it could be supply chain, right? From manufacture all the way to delivery to the end user. It could be brand awareness, right? But what you want to do is you want to see what possibly you can connect in this web of everything. Right. And it could just be, hey, I know the whole process from manufacturing to the delivery at Long and McQuaid's, and then how it even goes further, right? To the rentals and this and that. It could be just a supply chain. You get that part. It could be, processing. It could be, the technical side of things, right?
Yep.
Just expand that market as much as you can and find out what those opportunities are that you can easily capitalize on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just one thing.
That's just
from a passion of music.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So anything you can think of has a whole litany of
what is the space, right?
Yes, exactly. Like, it's
seriously,
it's massive when you really think about it.
Skateboards,
Skateboards,
we love skateboards. Well, then you got, your manufacturers of skateboards. You got skateboard designers.
Yes.
You've got then all of a sudden the trucks, the wheels, all these other manufacturers.
Yes.
You got skateboard parks, the designers of skateboard parks. You've got websites that you can give to these people, right?
Yes.
Then you've got skateboard events.
Yes.
And then that opens up this whole new other world about extreme events because skateboard, there's a cross. Like, I mean, dude, you pick that niche.
Yes.
It's just
There's
waiting
so
for the
much
picking.
there, yes.
Honestly. And there's so much there. It's just it's there waiting for you to pick. Right. And it's just, people have to open up their minds to this whole niche idea.
Put
right?
on your business hat.
Absolutely. Then in my opinion, then you have to figure out how to position yourself as that expert. Okay. So now, you have to own this shit. So just because we claimed one day, boom, we're going to understand tech, dude, it wasn't that easy. Okay. Like, I had to sit there and start kind of looking through everybody else, seeing the problems, seeing what there was a common denominator, right? Yeah. I spent so much time at the accelerators. I fucking hated that place. Right. And it was just trying to find out, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, what the struggles are. Right.
Yeah.
And then I had to then go to some of these events. I had to post a couple articles, have a couple talks, post a couple videos, and start building up this whole repertoire of being that guy that people can talk to about this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't happen overnight.
Nope.
But again, it also didn't take me 25 years. That's the best part. Because again, going from, tech expert to where we were, today, that was like a 7, maybe 8 year. I think it was 2017. I think it was when it happened. But regardless, right? That wasn't my full 25 years. Yeah. This was really the past, 8 years. Considering that 2.5 was fucking COVID shit we had to deal with. So it wasn't nearly as intense as one might think. But needless to say, you got to figure out how to position yourself as that expert, and then how to own that title of being that expert, right?
Yep.
And then last but not least, you've shrunk your pool. You've put all your fish in one fucking barrel, and you've given yourself a giant fucking shotgun now. Literally, dude, you're just going to basically point that fucking shotgun in that barrel and just start picking these fucking fish off. Like, it turns out that easy. Like, seriously, grab them all, throw them in, and that's it. Pick them. Like, it's the easiest way to fucking, it's the easiest, in my opinion, the only way to fucking have a business.
Welcome to Hunting with Moss.
And then after you shoot them, kiss them and apologize to them.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry, little buddy.
But yeah, you're right. It almost feels like that kind of scenario here, right?
Exactly.
That we're going through this is just like, oh, okay, who do I
Seriously,
entertain
though,
next?
Absolutely,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, wow, that's a harsh analogy, but a really good one.
Well, it's true, dude.
Those poor fish. I mean,
Isn't that shooting fish in a barrel? Isn't
shooting
that
fish in a barrel?
Okay.
That's
Thank God.
absolutely,
I thought
that's
I was getting
perfect.
really morbid there.
No,
but
that's
it's true,
great.
dude.
Yeah,
you know what? It's just, again, it's being a generalist. I mean, thinking that way is the wrong way to think.
Yeah.
Right. And thinking to be a specialist, or owning a niche, Dude, that doesn't mean that you're only going after one kind of customer in period, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'm talking about own a fucking industry,
Yes.
own a space, and don't be like, blinded or have blinds,
Yeah.
whatever those things are called, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, there's so much to that space.
Yeah.
But by being an expert, by understanding that space, your sales, your growth, it's going to be, your journey is so much better.
It's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know how nice it is every time a customer is like, hey, I've got something I got to talk to you about. And it's just like, sure, let's talk. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden I cut them off. I'm like, oh,
well, yeah.
I understand your
this. I know
technology.
where you're
I know. Tell me about now your business problems. And they're just like, really?
Wait, what?
And it's like,
I'm there already?
yes. And that's it. There is something.
Yes.
You want to talk about cred? That's the fucking cred.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we always look. Oh,
That stuff is huge.
That does feel really cool.
That's gold. And again, like you said, that opens you up to all kinds of things down the road. Like, it doesn't matter what the tech is, whether it's healthcare
Yes.
or financial tech, which we haven't
Absolutely.
done. But I'm sure if somebody came up to us and said, "Hey, I got a problem here," we could solve that.
Absolutely,
right?
we can,
So
right?
I
'Cause
mean,
they-
this is because we've niched down.
We've niched down enough
Into
that
that
we
tech.
understand the technology, that,
Yeah.
the design side is actually fucking easy at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. It's a great space to be in. It's a great spot, financially, because you can dictate
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
terms, right? Yeah.
Well, exactly.
I'm
And
the
people
expert
will
here, so
pay for this
Yes,
shit, dude.
yeah,
They
yeah.
will. They absolutely will.
exactly.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think so, right? In my opinion, it worked for us.
Yeah.
It led us from where we are to basically where we were to where we are now, which is a pretty fucking good place. And
Which
the
is a
future
great
looks
place.
amazing.
Yes, it
like
totally
literally,
does.
the future is so wide open for us.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. You're the belle of the ball, man. You're beating away at those suitors.
Well, it's just
Who's he going to take to the dance?
oh, Zach.
All of them. Yeah,
Zach's so popular.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Well,
that was,
I mean, it wasn't a very angry episode, but it was to a point, and it was like enough with the bullshit.
yes, there you go.
It's funny. The more I talk about it, the more angry I get, because it's like you guys are missing out
Yeah,
on
you
golden
really are.
opportunities
Yes,
here.
this
You
is true.
really are, because this is. People always say, how do you get a started? How do you get your first customer? How do I get my
yeah.
first job? And it's just like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
this is how you fucking do it.
Big time.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
own this space and you will fucking have people lined up to work with you, but you got to give. So again, you can spend the next 3 years hustling all these little jobs, all these side jobs, all this, all that, or you can spend the next 3 years becoming a subject matter expert and going out and picking the customers you want to work with.
Yep.
I remember, dude, that we had that one person, she called and she was like, well, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that, blah, blah. And I was just like, whoa, like this, she's already a problem. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. We're too busy right now. We got to niche this out. I can't really help you. I want to.
Sorry, yeah.
And she was like, well, it must be nice to pick and choose your customers. And you know what?
It really is.
Dodging a bullet like that, you're fucking right. It was. Seriously. So,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
go out, get that niche, become a specialist in it, and just rock it. Just ride it out, man, as long as you want at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And you're an expert in the field, so you'll know the troublemakers when you meet them.
Absolutely,
Right? Yeah,
Right.
but you'll
Right.
know the guys that are like that genuinely need your help and understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
Yeah, like this
Dude,
is
if
good.
we weren't experts in the field, we wouldn't have found a problem to solve with our platform. And that is what led, that was one of the biggest, reasons what led to our acquisition, right? We saw the problem. We were like, yo, we can solve that problem. This is how.
Yep.
We built the right software for that problem. And I mean, it exploded and it's done very well for
Very
them.
popular.
And again, but if we weren't subject matter experts, because again, the other agency wasn't subject matter experts.
Yeah.
Right. And there was no problem, right? They didn't see what they were just looking at the here, the now. Hey, I'll take this job. I'll take it. Hey, you do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me, understand the rest of the industry. Let
Yeah.
us build this platform for you.
Yes.
And let us reap the rewards of it. So literally.
And we have. And
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, right.
which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
It's going to feel nice.
Oh.
All we got to do is get past the next couple of weeks. That's it.
Yeah, we'll get there too. We'll get there too.
All right,
Come
dude.
on, November.
All right, buddy. I think we're good.
Yes.
We're good?
Yes.
Jeez,
was
everybody.
awesome.
I don't even think we said hi to everybody, but hi, we love you. Please, if you like what you heard today, please, give us a thumbs up, you know, hit us up, you know, leave us a good review on our, you know, Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or on Google, wherever you listen to us, because the positive, you know, reviews actually help our rankings, you know, and you know, we have a goal of being like the number one graphic design podcast in the world. You know, sometimes we're like number one in Italy, number one in Indonesia.
Yeah.
You know, all these fun countries, but we just want to blanket that shit. Right?
Yeah, we want to crack that U.S. market.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little while, sadly. But okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We were in like top 2, 3 in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think we were top 5 in the U.S. So we're doing not too bad.
Geez,
Yeah,
really?
dude, we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Sweet.
You know, don't forget to hit us up on our Instagram. I mean, the Instagram is where we have most of our conversations with with everybody, with all of our other angry designers. Join the crew.
Yep.
You know, get on our website, leave us your email address. We'll send out emails to you when we actually have an official email program in place, and when we want to get your opinion on things. So that's the other part, right?
Yeah.
But please, by all means, join the conversation, and yeah, thank you for listening. Right?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I'm
everybody.
hungry now. Let's go some Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue. All right, everybody. My name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
Stay creative
and stay angry.